Alright, here's our virtual class on voicing 8 brass. We're going to be talking about the various coupling techniques and also the various voicing approaches that we're taking here. So we've been given the first few for the C major 9 chord, so we'll just build down in thirds, stacking there. For the trombones, our third, which is going to be E up here, third below that, the seventh of the chord, and which is fine with the flat nines because we don't have a C natural up in the trumpets, and then also the fifth of the chord, so the G. So there we have what we would call a direct coupling at the fourth voice. Moving onwards, the F sharp minor 9, we have our seventh, and we're going to C sharp here, the fifth, then A natural, third, and then G sharp, which is our 9. Careful with this, if we put the G sharp in the trombone, we'll probably violate the flat 9 rule because there's that A right there. Then in the trombones, we have C sharp, and we're going to do a coupling here at the second voice. You can probably see that already, down an octave. And then we've got A, and then we'll have the actual root, the F sharp, and let's make that a sharp, and then like so. Okay, so we're going to call that a direct coupling. And this one's going to be at the second voice. It's down an octave. So that's AVB. Alright, moving onward here. Again, same trumpet position. So we're going to have the 13 up on top. There's our third. There is our root, and our seventh is an E flat here, and we're going to do a drop 2. We're going to do a direct coupling at the third voice, so there will be an F natural in the top trombone or lead trombone. No octave displacement this time. So that being said, let's start with that player. So we've got F natural up here, so cross voicing. We're going to drop the E flat down an octave. That's the seventh, but we'll get to him or her. Third, and the E flat that we just mentioned there. We're going to end up with some courtesy accidentals here. You will not need to write those. Okay, moving onward, the fourth approach. So we'll have a third on top, but then 2/4 below that. So fourth descending there. We've got the 11th right there in the fourth trumpet. We're going to do another direct coupling at the second trumpet. This time down the octave as well. Alright, so now we have this F. We're dropping the D, so we'll just do that right now actually. Okay, there that is. And then below this F we've got a C, seventh, and then an A, which is our fifth. Alright, so moving on here, the G7 flat 13 sharp 9, the four-way trumpet voicing, so we're going to have B flat, which is our sharp 9, an A flat, which is our flat 9, and like so. And actually, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm actually going to create a little crunch there. This is technically an A sharp. Let's see, there we go. And we will do a spread in the trombones, direct coupling at the lead down an octave. So we'll steal from ourselves here. And let's see, let me lead 8 VB. Okay, so the E flat on top. Trumpets are head honchos of coupling. Okay, so there we go. And then coming down, we've got our B natural, and our 7th, which will be F natural, and the root, because it's spread voicing, the root's going to be the bottom, G. Okay, so sharp 9, flat 13. All right, moving on here, the D half diminished, D minor 7, flat 5. We have third below, our 7th, and an A flat for the half diminished. And we're going to do direct coupling at the 4th this time, as we did here, up top. Direct coupling at the 4th, and a spread, so the root's in the bottom. So let's do this. So we've got an A flat up on top. Okay, right like that. And then we're doing a spread. Let's put the 7th here, and the 5th, or rather the 3rd, there. It's a 5th below the last note, and then we could do that. Let's do that. Give ourselves a 10th down there. All right, moving onwards. Lydian Dominant. I know that I'm going to create another extension here, so the uppermost tension will be the 13th. So we're going to go downwards in 4ths here. 4th approach, 3rd of the chord, and that's going to be an E flat. So we do expand more than an octave there, but we can expect that given that technique. We'll do a direct coupling at the 4th voice once again. So far, no indirect couplings, which involves a substitute note or substitute tension for a chord tone of like quality. We'll get to that. And then we got the E flat coming down, the A natural that we need, and the C, which is the 5th. Another 5th there, so that's the root of the chord. So there's our spread F13 sharp 11. Coming up to the E7 flat 9 flat 13. We've got our flat 9 given to us on top, so we'll give our flat 13. This is going to be G sharp, which is the 3rd, and coming down the 7th there. Spread again. Direct coupling at the 4th voice. Try to match the intensity of the lead trumpet and lead trombone as you're doing these. So we've got a D in this octave. That's our coupling at the 4th voice, and then we're going to have a G sharp, and then below that the 5th, and the E, the root. All right. So moving onward now, upper structure technique. So that being said, we have our sharp 9 on top. We're going to build a C major triad descending. Like so. We're going to do an indirect coupling this time at the lead. So it's our first indirect coupling. I'm going to borrow from here. Indirect coupling at lead 8 VB. And so that means that we need a substitute for the root. Sharp 9 is up on top, so we're going to use another one of the available tensions, the flat 9. So we'll have both types of 9 in this chord. So let's see. F, coming down, the 7th of the chord, coming down again, the flat 13, and then the G sharp, which is the 3rd of the chord. Alright, moving onward, the C major 7 sharp 11. So we're actually going to add another tension here. Okay, the 13, or I should have said extension. Coming down from here, D major triad. So we've got the upper structure technique again here. Here comes our 13, and finally F sharp. Drop 2 in the trombone. We're not going to use a coupling technique here. Instead, here's what we'll do. We'll go like so, E is the 3rd. We would expect the root to be directly underneath that in a 4-way close, but we're going to drop it an octave. So we're going to have that. And then for the 3rd and 2nd trombones, 7th, the 5th. Alright, moving on. The G minor 11. Let's make this a whole note. Alright, the G minor 11 here, upper structure technique again. So flat 7 over 1. like so. And then the spread here, let's build from the bottom up. We're going to go G, and then F, and then this will be B flat. And then we'll take the last note, make that a D, like so. So that we're spread there, and we have now an indirect coupling at the second. The second is substituting for a fifth, and this is the real fifth. So indirect coupling at second, 8 BB. All right, moving on. All right, so coming up to the B flat, 13 flat 9, I've used the upper structure triad approach here, G major triad with the flat 9 spelled enharmonically. And then we're going to use a spread technique for the trombones, starting with the B flat, the root, fifth, the seventh, which is A flat, and the third, D. Okay, so there we've got direct coupling. You can think of this as the fourth voice. It also happens to be direct coupling the lead down an octave. We'll just call it a direct coupling at the fourth voice. All right. So moving on here, we've got a B flat major 7, sharp 11, using the upper structure technique here. So I know that I'm going to generate a few more extensions. So let's go ahead and do that, and we're going to make a C major triad underneath that A to generate the sharp 11. So we've got the sharp 11, the 9th, and our 13, and we've got the major 7 on top, of course. We're going to do an indirect coupling at the 4th this time. And we'll see why it's indirect in just a minute. All right, so we're going to do spread voicing technique for the trombones. And now we've got B flat, and our 7th, and our 3rd, E natural, and a 3rd above that. So there we've got the 5th, and here we've got the alternate 5th, okay, or a substitute for the 5th, the 13th. So because I've used this substitute for the 5th, because I've used the 5th here and a substitution for the 5th here that's said to be an indirect coupling. They're not the same note. All right, moving on. We've got 4th voicing that we're going to use here. I'm going to borrow my 4th and drop 2. We're going to do down here on the trombones. And that's going to mean that we're going to have descending 4ths predominantly here. And you know what? I'll throw in that. Can't do. I'll do that. And then let's see. We're going to do a direct coupling at the lead. So I'll find a direct coupling at lead text here. There we go. Copy that. Okay. All right. That being said, let's go from the top down. So we've got, that's our lead note. We're dropping the root, like so, because that's the second note that would appear in that. Were it a 4-way closed voicing, which it's not. It's dropped 2. We've got our 7th, and we've also got our 5th coming up here. There we go. All right, moving onward. An indirect coupling at the lead. We're going to use the upper structure triad approach here, and another drop 2 for the trombones. So A flat 9, sharp 11. Upper structure triad is going to be the 2 over 1, 2 major over 1. Again, major tends to be the most useful of these upper structure triads. So we'll go like this. There's my sharp 11. and that's going to be a B flat. So it's just a B flat major triad with one note doubled there. And we're going to do the indirect coupling at the lead. So at lower octave, obviously. So we've got our 9, which is a substitution for the root here. Let's use the real root and the trombones. So we're going to have now the A flat there. We are going to, that's my root, and we are going to drop the 7th, so the G flat will be an octave roughly below this, and this is an A flat. Then we're going to continue with the voicing here, so we've got a E flat, and a C natural, the 3rd of the chord. Alright, last one. So now we're going to have 4-way closed voicings for each, the trumpets and the trombones. This is an easy one. We're just going to go like so, going to be flat, and then G flat, and this could be a copy and paste instance, but what we're going to do here actually is do a direct coupling at the 2nd voice. So somewhat inverted from where we're at right now. So direct coupling at the 2nd voice, of course, 8VB once again, and we've got 2nd trumpet playing a C. We're going to put a C here also, and not a D, for 2 reasons. One is we want the direct coupling. If we thought, well, we want an indirect coupling, and we're going to put a D here on the lead trombone. The problem there, of course, is there's going to be a rub between this note, which we're not going to use, okay, and this note right here. Okay, we've got that undesired, unintentional flat 9 interval. So that's just going to be the root per 2nd trumpet. And then coming down off that, we've got B flat and G flat, half diminished, and E flat. So what I think I'll do now is pull up a keyboard for you so that you can sort of follow along and gauge the density of some of these chords. So let's grab that. It's going to be under View, Keyboard. Okay, there we go. Get that middle of the screen and play this. Alright, that concludes Voicing 8 Brass.